I was posting on social media every day, talking about my journey in real time, not really knowing what product I had to offer. Then something started happening. Entrepreneurs began asking me the same questions over and over. And I realized people were actually listening. This is the story of how I discovered what people really needed from me. If you've ever felt like you're talking into the void, this story will show you how consistency and authenticity eventually create clarity. This is day 8 of my transformation story. Thank you for coming along the ride. I appreciate it with all the comments. Please keep sharing what you love about this journey. Yesterday, I told you about Francis planting the seed that I had a multi-million-dollar business by background. But having someone believe in you and actually building that business are two very different things. For months after leaving A&E, I was in discovery mode. I was a farmer. I was planting seeds every day, not knowing what was going to sprout. Now, I wasn't desperate, at least externally, maybe internally it was a little bit, but I wasn't sure either. I'd never built a business before. I'd always been a W-2 employee, getting that paycheck every other Friday. So I did what felt natural to me. And that worked. I spoke to people. I continued to show up every day and talk about who I was, even though I didn't really know what product I had. I was posting on all my social platforms you've seen there. Thank you for being a subscriber or a viewer. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I was figuring out what I was doing in real time. You're seeing it. I was being completely transparent about my journey, my struggles, my discoveries. And some days, I really feel like I'm talking into a void. But I keep showing up every day. Then something started happening. Entrepreneurs like you began reaching out to me. Not for partnerships or big deals, but with questions, real specific questions about your businesses. You were doing that. You were asking me about your business, your brand, and you were telling me your story. Brad, how do I make my story more compelling? Brad, how do I stand out in my industry? Brad, what makes someone unforgettable, just like the television shows you've made? And Brad, how do I tell my story in a way that connects? At first, I thought these were just random conversations. But then I noticed something. The same questions kept coming up over and over. Now, different entrepreneurs, different industries, but y'all have the same core struggles. How do I differentiate myself? How do I become memorable? How do I tell my story effectively? How do I get people to see me? Those are your questions on repeat. Now, I find myself having the same conversations repeatedly over and over, and I realized something profound. People respected me and my journey. They saw me. You saw me. You were watching what I was doing, and you were learning from it. But more importantly, y'all have the same problem. I started responding to these questions more thoughtfully. Now, I wasn't charging for these conversations because I didn't really know how to do that. I was helping. That's what I do. But I was essentially consulting without realizing it. I would get on calls with you, with entrepreneurs, and help you think through your positioning, your messaging, your unique value proposition. And I would share insights with you from my 22 years in television about what makes people compelling, what makes stories stick, what makes someone impossible to ignore. I also love telling you about anecdotes from my TV past, things that just come up. I experienced a lot, and I get so excited to share with you. And something amazing happened. You started implementing what I suggested. Not only that, it worked. One entrepreneur completely repositioned his real estate business based on our conversation and saw immediate results. Let's go. Another redesigned her entire personal brand around the insights we discussed and started getting speaking opportunities. She wanted that. Let's go. And a third entrepreneur used our conversation to clarify his messaging and landed his biggest client ever. Let's go. Now, I wasn't being sought out en masse, but I knew you respected what I was sharing. You were listening. You were learning. You were applying what I taught you. And through all of these conversations, I started to see a pattern. I was helping you, entrepreneurs, with the same thing I had been doing for 22 years in television. What is that? Make people unforgettable. The skills I had used to create compelling television shows, understanding what makes someone interesting, how to craft a narrative, how to make people feel seen, these were exactly what you needed. I was still putting together how to package this into products and services. Still am, more on that later. But I was starting to see the outline of what my business could be. Now, meanwhile, I do have to tell you, I am still in the television game. I've been developing projects with someone I truly respect in the television world, one of the kindest and best producers out there. And just recently, we've gotten a few shows greenlit, and I've been traveling to produce them. More on that later. So why? Francis told me how important it was to stay in the game. If you want to learn to flip homes, he said, do you want to learn from someone who flipped their last home 5 years ago or someone who's flipping now? You know the answer. That's one of the reasons I stayed in television. Not the only reason, of course, because I love television and I'm really good at it. And I get the opportunity to bring you entrepreneurs to the television screen. One of the gifts I'm so grateful to have. Also, I'm flipping homes. I'm still flipping homes, taking what I did in TV and doing it in real life. And we're about to sell our third home. More on that later. And we're in the middle of one other flip. And now I'm going to be doing the BRRRR method. If you don't know the BRRRR method, just Google it. I'll explain it later. And I'm going to be holding on to co-living properties because I believe in affordable housing for all, and I want to be one of the change agents for it. This period taught me something crucial about building a business. You got to figure it out in public. At least that's me. I didn't have a clear product when I started posting about my journey. I didn't have a business plan or a marketing strategy. I just had authenticity and consistency. But by showing up every day for you, by being transparent about my process, by helping you when you ask questions, I started to see what you actually needed from me. My business wasn't built in a boardroom. It was built in real conversations every day with you. It was built by listening to you, to the same question over and over, until I realized I had the answers you were looking for. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about the moment everything clicked, when I finally connected the dots and realized I had been creating $2 bills my entire television career without even knowing it. So if you're building something new and you're not sure what your product is yet, remember this: start with authenticity and consistency. Help people when they ask for help. Listen to the patterns in their questions. Your business will emerge from the problems you're uniquely positioned to solve. And while you're at it, take the Vibe Finder GPT assessment now. Discover what makes you the $2 bill in a wallet full of ordinary experts. Take it below. You're going to love it. Link in the description. And I have a $2 bill brand audit. Spots are filling up fast. These are 90-minute deep dives that help you see what makes you unforgettable. They're amazing. This is not a false scarcity. That's going to go away because I'm including that in one of my brand new products that's coming out soon, the $2 bill brand authority accelerator. It's a 90-day program starting a one-on-one session with me where we map out your road, and then we have a cohort of amazing entrepreneurs, all handpicked, that are all going to become unforgettable in their industry, and we're going to do it together. Because I truly believe 1 + 1 = 11. Always be unforgettable. Be the $2 bill.